Hi, I'm Ananya PARIKH and welcome to the Founder Story. Today we are in conversation with Mr. Jatin Chaudhary, the co-founder and salesperson of EChai, the social network for startups. Hi.
Hi, Ananya. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty well.
Okay. So, how did you identify the need for a social network for startups?
So EChai was started primarily when we started 9 years back to trying to solve the problems of people like me. So when I wanted to do something for the society or wanted to do some sort of a business, what I realized there is a lack of support system. So idea was very simple. Group of founders will come, meet at a tea stall, at Ritura tea stall, and then try to help each other. That was the core of how we started. That all of us can help each other in our journey. And then I realized that a lot of people realized that this is something they were also looking for. So that's how we started, and now we are thriving after 9 years.
So, what is the business model of EChai?
So EChai business model is simple. What if LinkedIn was for only enterprising people or startups, and what if that entity was had an offline component also? So EChai has a membership model. We have 20 chapters in India where we host a lot of entrepreneurial programs. So people become an individual member or a business member where they get access to all our events. We partner with a lot of organizations, so they get free access to those events also. And online they can connect or seek support from the fellow members.
So, is this meeting and everything happening at simultaneously, or there are time to time when you visit and you yourself are a part of that?
So there are some events which happen city specific, and there are some large events which happen simultaneously. So we do go. So but individual city has its own flavor. So EChai Ahmedabad would be little different than EChai Bangalore or EChai Chennai. But we do have active chapters in 20 cities.
Why the name EChai?
So it's an interesting story. So EChai means entrepreneurs chai.
Right.
So it's very easy. Like Gujarat has a culture of chai pe charcha, like historically,
yes.
not because of chai pe charcha,
Yes.
but anyways Gujarat was popular. So I always had that. And when I was a kid, I was very fascinated with this Boston Tea Party.
Right.
So I used to feel that somebody met at Boston and I'm reading in Gujarat.
Right.
So that thing was there, and I was always the guy who would bring friends together and meet and hang and chit chat together. So that was there. But when I wanted to start something, and there was a thing about entrepreneurship, so doing something around chai meetups and having an entrepreneurship thing to do. So that's why the name became Entrepreneurs Chai, EChai.
EChai. So, is there a age limit or something? I mean, age limit in the sense your company is maybe 9 years old, 10 years old. Now it's not a startup; it's in a post-startup age. Is there a limit like that where companies?
Government has a definition, and
Right.
central government has a different definition. State government has a different definition, where they say that if the company is less than 7 years old, has a innovative quotient, they are called as a startup. So in government definition, EChai is not a startup. But generally, I always believe that never get into this thing about definitions. So I never really got into this and we are a startup or something.
No.
It's just that people resonate with the startup word a lot.
Right.
That's why we call it the Startup
it a
Social
startup.
Network. But never that EChai is a startup.
Okay.
We are building an enterprise which also has some sort of a social impact.
So
also.
basically, everybody is welcome in
Yes,
EChai.
yes.
Anybody, even if it's a big business, it's running well, it's still welcome.
Primarily any enterprising person who would be interested in meeting fellow people who have ideas, they want to do well for the society or they want to do well in business, they'll resonate more with EChai. So anybody is welcome.
Right. What is your business model?
We have membership, so there is individual membership where people pay 1,000 rupees per year, where they get access to our events, partner events. We bring in a lot of offers for our members, and there is a business membership also. So those business who would want to engage more with EChai, they want to talk to the audience who comes at EChai. So there is a business membership which is 10,000 rupees for lifetime for that business.
So, what is the kind of ventures that you do? The events that you host. How do you make people interact, and how do you give them exposure?
So EChai primarily does three things. It helps you connect with fellow entrepreneurs. It could be through events or it could be through website. Second element is it helps you get business also. So there are a lot of members at EChai who could be a potential customer for any venture. So there is a lot of business that happens within the network, and sometimes we partner with large organizations to bring in good offers for our members. And third part is a lot of co-learning. So today also there was a session about creating high quality videos. So creating high quality video is essential for any person who's starting up a business in 2018. So we do a lot of co-learning programs. So either it could be co-learning that a lot of people will find value in that. Some people will find value in getting the business from EChai network, or some people will find value in getting connected to a lot of other people.
So how do you endorse networking through this I mean, at what level do you endorse networking?
So we help connect people. Just in case if I'm able to understand your question well, when event happens, people get connected,
Right.
and then what relationship they build after that connection, it is completely up to them.
Right.
But at EChai, we have this philosophy of co-rise, collaboratively rising together. So anybody who is part of EChai, they have follow the same, or they are in that zone of co-rising. So that becomes the common thing where everybody is connected with this network. So if you are into co-rise, so idea is that I can help you somewhere. You can help me. If I do that, you will going to play a role in my journey also. So over the period of 9 years, there are a lot of people who have become co-founders. They would have met each other at EChai and they are now co-founders. There are a lot of people who would have found that early customers through EChai. Now they are huge organizations. So I always believe networking, you just know people, that is not networking.
Right.
Networking is that you provide significant value to some of the other guy, and that person will provide significant value to you also.
Right.
That's how you build relationships, and
Right.
people call it networking also.
Right. So, what is the one quality you tell people that they should have after coming to EChai? Like, not just coming to EChai, but as an entrepreneur that they should
So
have.
generally, as an entrepreneur or as a professional, this is what I keep on telling everyone. This is what I keep on doing myself. 3 things: be extremely, exceptionally resourceful, skillful, and helpful. So if you are aware about the things, you become, you have resources that you know which person to talk to when you need some help, or you are aware about the things. So being resourceful, being skillful. Generally, people don't do a lot of groundwork. If you are skillful, that becomes a huge competitive advantage. And being helpful. People generally help people when somebody comes to them and seeks help. But if you be proactive and help everybody, people will come back to you. So if you have these 3 things, that increases your odds of becoming a very successful person. At least that is what I follow at EChai.
As many people attend your events, what is that one thing you do to create value?
So EChai programs are very entertaining. So there is a professional value and everything is there. But if somebody asks me what do I get at EChai, I would say you will absolutely love it. So this is my pitch to everybody who is new to EChai and over there. And once you are there, you realize there is exceptional professional value also.
Something in depth, maybe?
So for example, we do this demo day programs. So demo day programs are large programs where we select 10-12 product startups. They get a chance to showcase in front of a larger community. So we do this program sometimes at MICA and with a lot of other partners, like we are sitting at CI. So when we do these programs, the audience gets yellow smiley balls. So whenever they find somebody on the stage boring, they can throw these balls to the people. So if you are an audience at EChai, you will absolutely love. Typically at events or meetups, somebody comes on stage, rants about a lot of things, the greatness about them. So audience doesn't get that connected. At EChai, audience is the center stage.
Right.
People on stage are not these guys. The people on stage are there to share their experiences about how they did it.
True.
Or in case of early stage startups, they get a chance to showcase what they are doing.
Right.
So audience loves that part, and that is why we are able to bring in a lot of people. So every month, more than 5,000 people physically attend EChai programs across the nation. So that number, if your university would say that we have 10,000, 20,000 students, so we are getting there, and primarily because of our content, which is able to attract people.
Right. So how do you deal with competition?
So 2 things. EChai competes for attention among a lot of people, and we do a lot of smaller interesting things. We do events as well. We have an online network also. So for offline events that we do, the community building, there are a lot of similar organizations which do that. Online network also, there are a lot of platforms which do that.
Right.
And as a whole, EChai gives an interesting, unique experience. But we end up working with everybody. So we would have collaborated with almost every similar organization. This is in EChai's. So for example, as we speak, there is a parallel event happening by Head Start Ahmedabad. So one part of EChai resembles what Head Start does.
Right.
But we always collaborate that, like when they do program, we don't do their program on that day. This is what I always will. There is a larger aim that we are fighting for of empowering a lot of people, and everybody who does similar stuff, we are able to tap only 1% or 2% of the society.
Right.
So together we need to get to 100 first,
Right.
and then we can think about how do we compete. But
Right.
the first is to empowering every person, and in turn it creates a huge market for every organization which is doing similar stuff.
Right. So what is your advice to somebody who wants to start their own community or some such platform?
So my advice would always be these 3 things: be extremely resourceful, skillful, and helpful. If you have these three things, most of the things in your life would be sorted. And what I always realize, sometimes people don't value that being nice. You have to be flamboyant, you have to be big, or you have to have a huge number of followers. Then only people will take you seriously.
Right.
What I've realized, if you be nice, be on time, do all those right things over a longer period, that becomes a huge competitive
Right.
advantage. So this is what I keep telling people. At EChai, we are good people to be with. So if you get into that zone, that opens up a lot of opportunities for you.
Could you tell us about some of your initial struggles and how did you deal with them?
So when you start, there are a lot of struggles. One was a financial struggle. For 8 years, we didn't make money. In the 9th year, we started a business model. Then we realized that there are a lot of people who are getting significant value from EChai.
Right.
And then we started the membership. So for the 8 years, finances was one of the struggle. Another struggle was to convincing people about what we are doing. So a lot of people would meet and they'll get into debate of whether EChai has a business model or not. That would waste a lot of time. I was always of the belief that even if you are confused, even if you execute, do the thing.
Right.
So a lot of people, a lot of our well-wishers would have those things that so that was struggle. So there are smaller struggles.
Right.
When you have an initiative, how do you promote? How do you get people in it? How do you create that experience? But there were smaller struggles. The largest struggle was how do I convince somebody about the vision that I had.
Right.
In the 9 years, those who were with me 8 years back, they would have realized, and there is a significant progress that we are doing each year.
Right.
So there is so now it has. Now people have realized, because now we have a business model and a lot of people are becoming members. But that was the biggest struggle that I could think.
Could you tell us a little bit about your educational background?
It's a very interesting thing. I did engineering from Nirma and I was detained in the 8th semester. So technically my 8th semester took 3 years.
Wow.
But I finished the engineering, so I'm not a dropout.
Right.
But I had an interesting experience. I used to be very inferior that I don't belong to this place when I
Right.
joined Nirma. So that experience of not doing well and feeling inferior, and that's how life goes. When you are suppressed and when you come back much stronger. So now the first thing I did at EChai was never get into that inferiority complex that I am a victim of circumstances. I'll create my opportunities. This is what we've been doing at EChai.
So what is your advice to people who are right now seeing struggle and want to grow?
So 2-3 things. In your life, you would have successful moments, failure moments. You'll have those happy moments. So idea is to stay in that zone when you were successful. What used to happen when you were successful. So I take a lot of inspiration from the way I play cricket. I play really, really well. When I was in Nirma and when I joined my cricket team, we used to win all the championships.
Right.
And so I always taken inspiration from how good I was in one thing. Then you translate everything that the energy in the other things that you want to be good at.
Right.
So that is one of the things. But the challenge is that why are you struggling? Because there is a low point. So idea is to preserve your energies. When things are not going well, don't waste your energy. Just preserve.
Right.
Tide will turn, good time will come, and when the good time comes, you seize it. You make sure that doesn't happen, or you really go all in for that. So these are the 2-3 things that helped me come out from that struggling period.
Right. Thank you so much, Jatin. It was very enriching to have this conversation with you. Thank
And
you.